Hello everyone, welcome to part 1 of my Ultimate Persona collection video, what I am deeming to be the biggest Persona collection maybe anyone has in the world. This is a video that I've actually shot quite a few times, and every time I made this video, I felt like I wasn't doing it justice, I felt like I wasn't doing it right, or it was way too long. There's just a lot of things, and then also it was at a time where a lot of things were still coming in the mail, limited run games, some vinyls, some books, things like that. So making the collection video seemed a little disingenuous when there are a few more things right around the corner. Well, those things have seemed to slow down now. There's always one or two things trickling in. But for the most part, all the bigger things have released. There's no big games on the horizon. I mean, there's Persona 4 Revival coming out, but that's not going to be for a few years. But the way that I've decided to make this video is that I'm going to do this by parts, and I'm going to do this by shelves. So I have about 5 main shelves, plus 2 shelves of books in the other room, plus, let's call it another shelf of just random stuff around the house. So do the math, that's going to be about 9 parts to this collection video. I did a poll recently on my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, that one Andrew, or maybe it's at Slightly MP, I'm not sure. Either one should take you to the channel though, or if you're watching this video, just click on the name below and subscribe there to see where I put up these polls, because I'm going to know what you guys appreciate most, what you guys like. I know a lot of you like these collection videos. I do too. I like going around and perusing other people's collections and seeing, because they're all unique. Everyone has this different things, different styles, different collectibles, which I find really, really cool. And hopefully you'll find this collection cool too. I don't have too many figures. I'd say the figures are definitely the thing that I have the least amount of, but everything else I think that I have a pretty good collection, especially when it comes to the actual games. I don't have every version of every game, but I do have quite a bit of every version. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is just going to be my first shelf, so don't expect just games, just figures, anything like that. Every shelf is going to be kind of a mixture until we get near part 7, which is going to be mostly just books or things like that. But to start this collection video, we're going to start with the game that started it all, and that's the original Persona or Revelations series Persona. Persona, of course, is a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series, and this is actually a continuation of Shin Megami Tensei. I've not played the original Shin Megami Tensei. Actually, I haven't really played any of them. Not that I don't like them. I've dabbled in a couple of them, the 3DS one and then in 5. But I have a lot of games, and unfortunately Persona is one of those games that I've never beaten. I have gotten quite a bit of way through it, especially on the PSP, the remake of the PSP, or the remake of Persona on the PSP. I have gotten, I'd say, at least halfway through the game. But unfortunately never beaten it. Maybe on stream I'd beat it one day, because now I'm getting into that. Following that up, we have Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. This is actually part 2 to the duology of Persona 2. There's the game right there. There was a bonus disc included with this. I have that bonus disc somewhere on the shelf, so we will see it in the future. I had to buy it separately because when I got this copy, it did not come with the bonus disc. So, like I said, let me move it over. Let's stick with PS1 games here for a second. So here is Eternal Punishment again, but this is the Japanese version of Eternal Punishment. I'll go ahead and open it up and show off the inside art. This was, oh my goodness, I'm already dropping things. I'll get it later. This was around a time where I was really big into importing. You can see this one has a special preview disc in here. I'm thinking about doing like a PlayStation. I might just do a collection video on all my different games or all my different consoles. But I got really big into importing around this time, and especially with my PlayStation Vita games. And for a moment there, I was like, I'm gonna get every version of Persona. And you can get the Japanese versions too. That was silly. But I did get a few of them. Here we have PlayStation's greatest hits of the original Persona, which definitely can open it. There we go. And a lot of these I got because they do have different art covers. They do have their manuals. And honestly, if you want to, I mean, I can't play these games because I don't have a Japanese PlayStation 1. But if you want to, these imports are relatively cheap. And they're kind of a cool collector's item to have. And then here is Innocent Sin, the first part of the game that we never got. And I am on team remake Persona 2. I want a remake of these games. To play the complete duology is kind of a hassle. I'm just making a mess. As you can see, they came with... Some of them came with these cards. But I would love a remake of Persona 2. I've gotten quite a bit of way through both Internal Punishment and Innocent Sin. Have not beat either of them because again, I don't beat games. That's not true actually. I play so many games that I do beat a lot of them, but I just get lost. And I'm in the middle of Final Fantasy 9 right now, and it's been 6 months, and I'm like 10 hours in just because I play so many at the same time. So I'm just getting lost in the cracks. But yeah. So those are the PlayStation 1 games. Now, just to randomly jump, we have Persona 5 Royale, the Steelbook Edition. I really, really like this cover. If we open it up, there's the game. And then this cover, like that. We're going to see, I have quite a few copies of Persona 5. We might not even be looking through all the copies because some of them might be on my other shelf with my other PS5 games. Here's Persona 5 Tactica. You can pick this up at any game store. I almost said Best Buy. That was my go-to. My go-to place was Best Buy. That's interesting. Another copy of Persona 5 Royale. Another Steelbook version. But as you can see, it is different. There's a moment there. And I'm sure it's still like this, but I've cooled down on my game collecting. I mean, I still buy probably over 100 games a year. But there was a moment there where steelbooks were getting kind of insane. Like, everything had to have a steelbook. Every place had to have 5 different steelbooks. It was really annoying. Persona 5 Strikers, or Scramble. I believe this is the Japanese import, because it says Scramble. That was another thing, too. Steelbooks would have different variations depending on the region. Kind of annoying for a collector like me. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I don't know where the game is. That's a problem. This is the Japanese version because it never came out physically in America. So we didn't get it. Oh, I know it is. It's in my PS4. Because that's the last game I played in there. Great game though. Really fun story. Fun continuation of the Persona 4 story. My wife actually just beat Persona 4 Golden. And I told her, well, now you got to play Arena and Dancing and Q because those are all canonical, technically. Here we have an unopened copy of Persona 3 Portable on the Xbox. This is one of those limited run games. I'm not opening it just because I have no reason to open it. I own this game digitally. I own it physically 100 times. That's not true, not 100 times, but I already own it a ton. Here it is on Switch, which this is with my Switch games. I like the manual that it came with. It's a good game. It's a shame that they did not remake the female route on the remake, but it is what it is. So these are some interesting ones. So we have Persona Q2 and Persona Q. Neither of the games are actually in here. Shin Megami Tensei 4 is in here. And then Persona Q is in Persona Q2. Now the reason that these games are in here is actually because these games don't work. 3DS games just sometimes die. These two died. Out of like the 50 or 60 3DS games that I have, both were Atlas games that died. Now, interesting story about Persona Q though. One day I'm going to buy another physical copy because I want that working copy. But it was like the day before the 3DS store shut down. I was testing my games and I saw the Persona Q didn't work anymore. I actually emailed Atlas and I said, hey, I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts. I, watch a lot of game reviews and things like that. I know you guys just have like a bucket of review codes sitting there, just free codes for the game. Can I have one? And I got a response back from them and they're like, oh, we're sorry, we don't have any codes. No, we can't do that. blah, blah, blah. I emailed back and I was like, listen, I understand what you're saying, but I know you have the codes. I know this is a thing. The game stopped working randomly. The shop shuts down in a day. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it if you could just give me one of those codes. And then the next email, they're like, all right, here you go. Here's a code. So that was kind of, that was very nice of them. And also kind of, you know, when you're in the know of like, hey, I kind of know how the industry works just because I've watched so many videos and just done so many things, or not done so many things, but really it's just watched a lot of videos, listened to a lot of podcasts. You hear about the relationships people have, and you start to get to know how the industry kind of works. But interesting story about Persona Q. Great game, by the way. Should have had a English dub. Really exciting. Here we have Persona 3 on the PlayStation 2. This is the Japanese version of Persona 3. I like the box art and the disc art of this game. Great game. Even with its limitations of not controlling your party members, I actually like that because it's a different way of playing. It's a different challenge. Here we have Persona 3, but the American version. Not as good disc art, but still good. I think you can get this on Amazon for like $20 right now. There's honestly a lot of PS2 games you can get pretty cheap still. Here we have Persona 5 Royale again, but this is the Japanese import. And then we have the GOAT, Persona 4 on PlayStation 2. I'm actually a Persona 4 Golden person. Alright, continuing on. Next we have Persona 4, Persona 3 and 5, the Dancing Games Endless Collection. You want to talk about biggest disappointment. These games, they're not bad, but you could tell that this was rushed. Doing 2 games at once was not a good idea. The remixes weren't as good. The story modes were just gone. Replaced with some, I don't even know what it was. Very disappointed after Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which I do think is a genuinely great game. Another copy of Persona 5 Royale, this time is for the Xbox. Same steelbook that we've seen before, but it's for the Xbox. I don't import different variations anymore unless it's like different collector's editions or steelbooks, but I do try to get every single platform of the game. Speaking of, we have here a sealed copy of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax that includes the tarot cards and the Teddy Pop Bag. And we actually have that over on the shelf. We'll get to that in a later video. But yeah, great game. Really fun fighting game. And still played at tournaments. And here is the original Persona 4 Arena, also sealed. I played these games on PlayStation, and I dabble on Switch a little bit. I have no reason to play it on Xbox, but again, to collect them. Here we have another copy of Persona 5 Strikers for the PlayStation 4. I believe this is an American version. I mean, it should be the American version. Oh, and look at this. It's Persona 5 Strikers. But this is the steelbook of it. The game's not in there because the game actually was not included with the steelbook that I got. So this is just decorative, but it's a collectible. It's nice. Here we have Persona 4, the Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold Limited Edition. This is the collector's edition of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax that came out in Japan. Came with this card, and then there's some DLC codes in that little pack. And then the game. And it has this really cool slipcover that's white and shiny and gold. Here we have another copy of Persona 5. This is the original Persona 5, not Royale. I really like the art design of this. I have all the main cast walking away from the city, and they're white. Good design, good game. And followed right by that, we have Persona 5 on the PlayStation 3. It's genuinely shocking, actually, how many people don't realize that Persona 5 is a PlayStation 3 game. And I get that Persona 5 Royale is a remake and all that, but at its core, that game is a PlayStation 3 game. It was originally announced before the No, that's not true, because Catherine was made first, and then the PS4 came out in 2014. It might have been announced only as a PS3 game, actually. No, it was, because Atlas usually launched games for consoles after the next console they released. So Persona 3 came out for the PS2 when the PS3 launched. Persona 4 came out 2 years after the PS3 had launched. Persona 5 was looking like it was going to come out just for PS3 after the PS4 launched, and then they decided to port it. But a lot of people don't realize it is a PlayStation 3 game. You all are fans of a PlayStation 3 game, and don't forget it. Speaking of PlayStation 3, we got a couple more over here. I'm going to kind of speed through these because they're basically the same. So we have another copy of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax right here. And then we have two copies of Persona 4 Arena. One is the American version, one is, I think, Canadian, actually. And this included a mini soundtrack with it. That's why I imported that. Persona 4 Arena. Different disc cover, too. Here we have the Persona 3 Limited Edition on PlayStation 2. And it came with this art book and this soundtrack in the art book. An interesting PlayStation 2 limited edition. It's just a cardboard sleeve and everything's kind of shoved in there. This box is kind of beat up on the edges, but that's okay. Not too worried about that. Sticking with Persona 3, we have right here Persona 3 Fez, two different versions. This one is the American version that you can get very cheap online anywhere, ranging from like $10 to $15. Highly recommend Fez. You get the DLC that was released with Fez. Plus, I think you can control your party members in this version. I might be wrong by that. I think portable maybe is when you could start controlling your party members. But very good game. And then this is the Japanese version or release of Fez, where it was only Fez. The original Persona 3 is not on this disc. And then the game that started it all, Persona 4 Golden, my first Persona game that led to all this fandom. Cartridge not in there because it's in my Vita right now because I like to go back, and actually it was like 3 days ago that I booted it up and just played a little bit of it, mostly for nostalgia, but I also just love the Vita and love that game. So push these out of the way. Because the next thing is we have the Persona Trinity Souls Premium Edition. I have done an unboxing on this if you'd like to go check that video out. But this is the anime Persona Trinity Souls and an art book. It's very long, very inconvenient for a shelf, but it's also pretty cool. Again, if you want a more in-depth look at these, check out my unboxing video. And here is volume 2, same thing. 2 DVDs, giant art book, giant cardboard sleeve. Okay. Over here, I don't know why this is separate, but dynamic theme code. It's interesting. We have Persona 4 the Golden for Xbox. This was not a limited run game. And then we have this cardboard sleeve that you put both Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden for the Switch. They both slide in there. Nice storage. There's no real reason why I haven't put them in there. It's just I haven't. Here is Persona 4 Golden Solid Gold Premium Edition. Again, I've done an unboxing on this. I might make a new unboxing because that unboxing is very old. I have to go through and see which ones are modern and which ones are kind of old and crusty. Because I would like to do an official unboxing for all of these collector's editions. But I need to go see which ones I've already remade. Here we have a Morgana plushie. This came with one of the collector's editions. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, he just sits on my shelf and he looks like that. We have this etched 3D crystal from Persona 3 the movie. This is Thanatos. This is the Persona that comes out at the beginning of the game. Really cool. I have quite a few of these crystals. I really like them. They're nice shelf displays. Here we have I think this is a pop-up parade figure of Joker in Persona 5. Here's one of my favorite figures. We have Makoto from Persona 5, who I think is the best character in that game. That's just my opinion. We have Kasumi from Persona 5 Royale. We have the best character for Persona 4 Golden. Just kidding. Well, she's one of the top ones. But we have Rise from Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Alright. And that right there is the first shelf. Let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is actually some fan stuff that I have now. My sister-in-law actually made these for me. These are made of beads, and they are some masks and some silhouettes, I guess you'd say, from Persona 5. Really cool, and it's something that we'll get into a little later. Mostly it's with some posters, but I don't have many fan things. Most of the collection things that I have are official things, but things like this, especially when it comes from family, really cool and really unique. We have Kanji. Love Kanji. Futaba and Teddy. So getting these displayed somehow I think would be really cool. Again, these are fan made. Sister-in-law made them. But they're really, really awesome. I also have a picture somewhere that my wife made of Teddy. I'm gonna scoot these to the side. They're kind of out of the way. I'll make these ones. Just be our little border while we go ahead and start with the pile. Now, this is going to be a collection of, we still have some games to go through, we have some more figures, but a lot of this is going to be video. And here we have our collector's box set of Persona 4, the animation, my favorite of the Persona animations, and maybe my favorite anime in general. There's a couple variations of Persona 4 the animation that came out. These are all on DVD. And you're going to see that one of the things I don't have is I don't have the complete anime on Blu-ray on one disc because I got other variants of that kind of like this, where this is the entire Blu-ray on here. So I actually own this anime about 4 different variations, and then there's things in here, kind of like with everything else. I have done an unboxing video of this, so if you'd like to see all the other contents that are inside, go ahead and check that out. And I know I've mentioned this before, but maybe one day I'll have enough room to actually take everything out of the box. The next thing we're going to briefly look at are these. I have the Persona 3 movies, all for the, what would you call these, the collector's boxes of the movies. Also really like these movies. I thought it was interesting that they went with film instead of an anime series like they have with all the others. At this point, Persona 5, the animation hadn't come out yet, but with Trinity Soul and with Persona 4, and even Persona 4 Golden, the animation, them deciding to do movies instead. It was interesting. I think it worked well. It focused more on the story rather than the social links, which was a choice, but I think, again, for Persona 3, I think it worked well. Here we have some live performances. Now I am something else to add to the collection. The collection is always growing, but I am missing like maybe the last 4 live performances. I started falling out of them a little bit just because I really prefer the music of the older games as compared to the newer games, and by that I mean like Tactica, Scramble, Royale, Persona 5 in general. I don't hate the music at all, but I much prefer the older music with older singers. We have this. I think 2019 or 2020 is like the latest one that I do have. Here is 2017, which is crazy. That was 8 years ago. 8 whole years ago. And then the other ones I think are on a different shelf actually. 2019 is the latest one that I have. So all the other ones that have happened since 2019, I don't have yet. I do plan on getting them sometime. When though? Not sure. I do have 2 more. Persona Live, Velveroom, and Akasaka Blitz. Oh yeah, I can read. And then we have this 20th anniversary Symphony of Persona, an Atlas special. Good music, good music. Here is Persona 4, the animation, complete on DVD. Again, I don't have the complete on Blu-ray one, which I know that goes for like $500. But that's because I have the complete on Blu-ray in many other different formats. And at some point you have to say, I'm good, right? Here I have these DVDs of stage performances. These are Persona 3 stage performances. Then we have Persona 5, the stage performance, and then Arena Ultimax stage performances. Really cool. If you've never seen them, I recommend checking them out. Here we have the Blu-rays. We have Persona 4, the entire animation on Blu-ray. Something that's unfortunate about this show is that I'm not sure you can watch it online legally. I don't believe it's on any streaming service, and I don't believe it is purchasable on any platform. So, unfortunately, some of the only ways to watch it are by buying the actual disc or by downloading it from other means. I will let you interpret that how you want to interpret that. Here we have some PSP games. Persona 2 Innocent Sin, this is the collector's edition, which came with the soundtrack. Really good remake, both this and Persona 1. You're going to see people online that kind of don't like these remakes because they did remake them. That included remaking the soundtracks, and there's definitely a different vibe from these games compared to the other games. I think in terms of modernization and in terms of Persona as a whole, it makes sense that they changed the soundtracks. But I also understand the people who like the original soundtracks. I imagine if these remakes had come out in 2020 instead of, when did these come out? 2011, I think? Yeah, this came out in 2011 and this came out in 2009. I think if these came out 10 years later, you would have seen options like a lot of remakes have, where you have the traditional graphics and then you have the new graphics, you have the traditional soundtrack, you have the new soundtrack. I mean, the games, ironically, no, not ironically, but kind of crazily, if you think about it, this game, it shows on the back the copyright dates. This came out in 2009. The original Persona came out in like 1996, I think. 1996? Somewhere around there. So, I think a little over a decade had passed since this came out, and then the remake. And then with this, even less, because I believe that Persona 2 came out in 2001, and this came out in 2011. So, the time that passed, only 10 years, it's been much longer between this and current day. And unfortunately, these games, they're just lost to time, maybe. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully we will see ports of these remakes, whether they are the classic ports or the PSP ports. And maybe one day we will get Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment on the same platform, easily accessible. I guess the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation Portable, ironically, are the only ones that you can play both of those at the same time. This with the PSP version, and then they have the PlayStation 1 Classic of Eternal Punishment. But I digress. This is, they're good games. They are very good games. Hopefully we'll see them again one day. Speaking of, here we have, well, I completely skipped over this. This is Persona 3 Portable, a collector's edition that only came out in Europe. And you can see on the top that it includes an art book, poster cards, and there is a poster in there. So I think I've done an unboxing. Well, actually, I've done a whole video of Persona on PSP. Kind of added music, edited it. If you want to go check that out, I go to a little more in depth about all these, and I think I open them all up and stuff like that too. Here we have an import of Persona to Eternal Punishment. Again, I don't understand why they wouldn't just localize both the games. It's like Atlas is just, I don't know. And then we have the physical of Persona 3 Portable, which I'm sure at some point this was worth some money, but with all the ports of Persona 3 Portable, whatever money that was, I'm sure it is less. Not that I buy any of this stuff for like value or resale or anything like that. I don't really care about that. I just care about, you know, collecting them and the fandom and supporting Atlas, really. A lot of this was before they got bought out by Sega, which that's a video for another day. However, I still would like to support them as much as I can. Here's a bunch of Switch games. Now you're going to notice 2 of these Switch games look a little interesting, and we'll go over that in a second. Steelbook for Persona 5 Strikers. I don't believe there's a game in there. I think it's just a Steelbook sealed. Persona 5 Tactica sealed because, yeah, just never played it. Persona 5 Strikers. Persona 5 Royale. That's actually the version that my wife beat on the Switch. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Persona 4 Golden, which again is the version that my wife beat. And then Persona 3 Portable. Now these 2 are actually fan-made cases. These both were given to me and made by a friend before the limited run editions were announced. So that's why they were there. Now I am curious. I'm sure it's somewhere. It's always somewhere. But one of my Switch cases is not where it's supposed to be. We'll find it though. Other things on this shelf. We have a Junpei hat, and this was actually a pre-order bonus at GameStop, I believe, back when Persona 3 Portable came out, I think. And to be honest, I bought it used on eBay, so I don't know. But I believe that's what it was. I'm at that age where when all these remakes and stuff coming out was right around the time that I was like getting old enough to play these games. Context, I'm 28, so a lot of these coming out in like 2008, 9, 10, 11, I was between 11 and 15 with all that time period. So, you know, still a kid, still young, not able to pre-order Persona 3 Portable and go to GameStop at midnight. But a few years later, once I get a job and all that, I could order it that way. This is a shirt that actually came with the Amazon edition of Persona 4, the limited edition. It is a picture of Konohana Sakuya. I know I've done an unboxing video of this, so if you'd like to see the full shirt of that, you can go ahead and check that out. And then this shirt, right here, this is my Persona 4 Dancing All Night shirt. This was near and dear to my heart because I won a competition. I know I've talked about that dancing competition at least a dozen times. I'll talk about it one more time. I entered into a dancing competition. First prize was the limited edition Dancing All Night. I got like third prize or second or fourth or one of the runner-ups, and they gave me a t-shirt, which honestly, I'd rather have a t-shirt because I think they only sold those shirts at their booth at like PAX East or something like that. So ironically, that was harder to get than the game. I already had the game paid for and pre-ordered. So yeah, I really like that shirt. That was back when Atlas was cool, man. They had a cool community, smaller, cool community coordinator. Good old times. Persona 5, the 25th anniversary pin. I didn't get everything, of course, on the shop when the 25th anniversary rolled around, but I did get quite a few things. Some standees, some pins, things like that. We'll see them all later. I really like this. This is my Persona 3 stopwatch. It's called stopwatch. Pocket watch, my bad. It's not a stopwatch, it's a pocket watch. I actually did carry it around for a while. Carefully, of course. But Persona 3. This is from the first movie, I believe. Yep. Spring of Birth. Really cool. There's a lot of cool merchandise from those movies for coming out. Lots of cool things. Here is Persona 3. This is a watch. I think I've shown this before. Very expensive watch, but this is like, it's supposed to be Velvet Room themed. Another thing where I was like, I'm not going to get it. And then when the time came, I was like, okay, I'll get it. And with things like this, it's interesting because like I have to draw a line somewhere. And before it was at figures, and now I'm starting to buy some figures, and I'm starting to get more figures, and I'm looking at more figures. But like when they're doing collabs with like cologne or wine or things like that, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But then when it comes to apparel, like watches and headphones and stuff, I'm like, maybe. Depends on the situation, I guess. Here we have the Persona Q 3DS. I love this 3DS. It has a custom theme on it. I'm sure it's dead. Yeah, it's for display now. But it is fully functional and actually has Persona Q digitally on there. So I always have it with the theme. But yeah, really, really cool. Happier time. I'm getting so nostalgic now. I'm at the age where I get nostalgic for my game consoles. I remember when I was a kid and played the 3DS. Oh, they don't make them like they used to. They actually don't. I'm just going to throw that out there. They don't make them like they used to. We have some pins. These came with the Persona Q2 Collector's Edition, and these came with the Persona 5 Tactica Japanese Collector's Edition. But they just kind of sit on my shelf in front. They're cool displays. If anyone knows how to display pins easily, let me know. I'm going to push these back real quick so we can do the final things. Only a few more things on the shelf. So here we have a figure of Aigis. This came with the Persona 3 Reload Collector's Edition. She is out there displayed on my shelf. Here we have a figure of Lisa from Persona 2. Apparently this is one of the more rare figures. Not the rarest. That would be the Rise Arabian Nights figure, which maybe one day. Maybe. It's expensive though. Like the cheapest I see now is like $1,000. That's a lot of money. But it's cool that I have that. And then we have Rise, my second figure of Rise that I've shown. You can probably tell who my favorite characters are once we delve deeper into the collection videos. Two more things. First thing is, on this shelf I have the Persona 5 Royale mask displayed. This came with the Royale Collector's Edition. One of them, I have multiple. I swear they made 20 different versions of Persona 5, especially when you include the Japanese ones. And they had like the 20th anniversary edition. So much Persona 5. Speaking of, the last thing on the shelf is my amiibo of Joker. I'm counting it as Persona stuff. Sealed. Honestly, I sold most of my amiibos anyways. I have like maybe 25, 30 left, which is still a lot, but I had like 60, 70. But I have a few that are still in the box. Mostly Zelda, Sephiroth, and then Joker. But yeah, that is shelf number 2. Here we have the box for, and I love this box, for the Persona 4 Dancing All Night Vita edition, and the Vita is actually sitting right beside it. But I have this box just on display. Very nice. I like a lot of these things. I think I did an unboxing of that a while ago. Beside it, we have this custom-made Persona 4 Golden Vita carrier, and this is what I played. This is what I carried around. The Vita is inside of it. Back when I used to play my Vita every day, I still play my Vita quite a bit. Well, I shouldn't say quite a bit. I play it occasionally. But yep, I carry it around. I stick my games right in there. Always just a few on me. And yeah, this thing was attached to my hip for a good 6 years. Every day in school. My teachers loved me. Here we have the Persona 4 Dancing All Night Crazy Value Pack. This is actually, I think this is the collector's edition of the game. Yeah, it is. So if you open it up, you can see that the game is inside there. The soundtrack's on the back. This was a Japanese edition of Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Very random, but we have a 3DS skin from Spiral Tower, which is, I'm sure, just some knockoff company. I got this before, I think, the 3DS. Or maybe I got this when they announced the 3DS. I don't know why I got this, though, because I ended up getting the DS. Maybe I was thinking, oh, maybe I won't get the DS, I'll just get the skin. That didn't happen. Here we have a PlayStation 4 controller. This is the controller that came with the PS4 Pro, which we'll get to that later. That'll be a few parts down the line. But very nice controller. I don't use it. I don't want to rub off any of the decorative designs or anything like that. It just sits on the shelf and looks nice. And then beside it, in the box still, we have the black edition of the PS4 controller. This one didn't come in a box since it came with the console, and if I put it in the console box, you couldn't really see it on the shelf. Here we have a very sad teddy. This is actually, if you saw part 1, I showed you Persona 4 Arena on the Xbox, and it said it came with an inflatable teddy. Well, this is it. This is the one that came with my PS3 version. It must have been PS3 if that came off 360. And I, at one point, had it inflated. It's been punched many times, mostly from my brother, my little brothers. They were, I don't know, 9 at that point or something like that, but they would play around with it and throw it around, which I have another one that's sealed, so I don't really care, but it's a cool thing nonetheless. Now, I'm going to be walking away from the camera for a second because I just didn't know where to put a lot of this stuff. I'm just going to start grabbing some things. Here we have Yusuke, little acrylic. Is it acrylic? It's not called acrylic. One of these standy things. And then beside him, we have Makoto. If anyone wants to tell me what this is in Japanese, I'm sure it says something amazing. And then I have this golden card of Joker. I don't remember what this came with. It must have been a game or something. Some more of these stands. I said before on the last part that I did get a few things from the Persona 25th anniversary. I did not get all these stands. I only got the ones that I didn't have representation, I guess you could say. I already have figures of Joker and Persona 4 main character and Persona 3 main character, but I didn't have of these guys, so I went ahead and got the standees for those two and for these two. And in hindsight, maybe I should have gotten the other ones because these are very detailed and they look very nice. But I kind of like that I just got these four. They're like unfortunately, they're like the forgotten cast. They're not in remakes anymore. They're not in games. Here, another 25th anniversary water bottle. It is for decoration. I could use it for water, I guess, but I don't. This I did an unboxing of a long time ago, but this is actually a Persona 3 collector's edition, PlayStation 2 Persona 3. Unfortunately, it came like this. It's a little torn up over here, which is very unfortunate. Maybe I can get that fixed one day. But you can see it says Gakukan High. It's in the form of a little bag. If you want to see what's inside, it's kind of a pain to open it up, so I'm just going to leave it sealed. But you can check out that unboxing video on my channel. Put that back there. There's so many little things. I don't know how I feel about it. Just a bunch of tiny things and then things that are magnetized. And it's just kind of a pain. Here's a button. Came with Persona Q2. And then I have a bunch of keychains. I actually just did a video on all these keychains not too long ago, so I'm going to kind of just, well, like with everything else, show you. You can go through them. I would like to hang all these up one day, get them displayed sometime. I think I said the same thing in the video that I made. But it's true. I'm just not, I have so much other stuff, and well, there goes that. And we have semi-limited space, so it's hard. Could I have a whole Persona room? At this point, it's plausible. This isn't a keychain, this is a Persona 5 Strikers pin. And then I have these two keychains. You and Reese beside each other. I could probably decorate a good portion of this room with just Persona stuff. However, I'm not sure I want to do that. This came with the limited run of Persona 4 Golden. I was able to put it on the shelf. It's this golden teddy stand. And then this is one of my favorite figures, Nanako. I've talked about this before, but unfortunately her eggplant got lost. So now she's just, maybe she's asking her big brother to hold her hand instead of holding up an eggplant. These things are really annoying to show. I'm going to do my best. But they're so small. They're just going to fall over. But I have these little magnetized figures of the Persona 4 cast. I did a video a while ago. It's like going through my Persona statues, I think, or figures or something like that. And I go in more depth with all these little magnetized things. There are figures that I've gotten since then. I've done unboxing videos on, I think, all of them. But if you want to check out that video, I've said this before, but my figures, I don't have a lot. I wish I had more, but I just don't right now. As you can see, they're in their chibi style. Got a Adachi here, which is cool. And they're just nice little. It's a mess. It's such a mess. Only got a few more. Yosuke, and then we have when they had to do their cross-dressing for their beauty pageant. Two more. Well, two more, I guess. There's this little teddy figure. He just sits on the stand of some of them. Yosuke's is, I think, is the one that came off. And then we have Yukiko and the main character again, but this time he's more traditionally styled instead of in his dress. Those are just gonna lay there. They're kind of a pain to set up and all that. We're gonna push this back because we have more on this one shelf. These shelves are definitely packed. Again, wish I had more room, but unfortunately, I do not. So this box. I want to talk about this box because, like I said before, I watch videos of Persona collections, and then sometimes I watch videos like the most valuable Persona things that you can get, and I actually own quite a bit of the things that people say are the most valuable, this being one of them. And I've actually seen videos where people say this isn't real. This is real. The Persona 3 Fez Collector's Edition is real. These headphones are real. I have them in my hand. Now, I'm going to open this up too because, again, I've done an unboxing of these, but I don't think I've opened these up before. It's just Persona 3 Fez on PS2. It has this little bag keychain. It's leather, but it's a keychain that goes with it. But these headphones are pretty valuable because they have Persona 3 on them. This was a collaboration, that's what I was looking for, with Audio Technica. But if we open the bottom, right here, you can see, and I've never used these, I'm never going to use these. But I did not know this until I saw the video that talked about this. It came with a little headphone bag too that says Gakukan High School since 1982. It's in my hand. It's real. Okay? If you need proof, or you see a video that says they don't think this exists, send them to this video and say, hey, it does exist. Now, I will say, I don't know how much I spent on this. Hundreds of dollars. Way too much. But when I saw it, this was right before Persona 5 came out. I know I've told this story before, but I really tried to get a lot of these, especially Persona 5 wasn't real. But I tried to get a lot of these things before Persona 5 came out because I had a feeling that the fandom was going to explode with 5 just after the fanfare of 4 and the build-up and things like that. I've only ever seen this listed once, and that was when I bought it. Again, I don't know, it was like maybe $600, $400, $500, and that was 10 years ago. I have no idea how much I would go for now. No idea. That one back there, the Persona 3 one, also I got I got those both at the same time. Ended up spending about $1,000 on both of them. But it was that thing of I had never seen them before. I had barely even heard of them before. And they're obviously valuable and rare. So, they exist. They do exist. Because they're right there. Other things, we have the Persona Trinity Soul on DVD. I have the standard editions alongside those premium editions that we showed back in the first video. This is pretty cool. This is the Persona dancing soundtracks, and as you can see, it's in this glittery, shimmery box. As much as the games, I wasn't a huge fan of the style that it brings, the disco style. It makes me want more of the dancing games. I always thought it would be cool if they did like spin-offs or even went back to the older games. Just cut the story out, make some like Theatrhythm kind of, a style like that. There's definitely enough games and songs for them to do that. Here we have Persona 5, the animation. I'll be honest, I've never watched it. I own it. I've heard things about it, but I've never seen it, so I can't judge it. I will watch it one day, though. It's on the list. The ever-growing list. Right beside that, we have Persona 5, the Daybreakers, which I have seen this. It's okay. It's alright. I don't have high expectations for any adaptation, especially video game adaptations, whether that be movies, animes, anything like that. So I'm sure whenever I watch Persona 5 the animation, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's fine. Speaking of fine, right beside it is Persona 4 the Golden animation. I also thought this was fine. It's not my favorite. I like the original a lot better, but these are okay, and these are the collector's editions, so they came with the soundtrack. And I think these are on Blu-ray. Yeah, Blu-ray disc. So, no DVD. We're done with DVD. But yeah, decent enough anime. These you can get streaming. For some reason, you can stream those, but you can't stream the originals. Only a couple more things on this shelf. Again, the shelf is very, very packed. And I didn't have room to put anything anywhere. So we have right here, again, Persona 4 the anime. This is the fourth variation? I think fourth. But these are the Japanese editions. I've, again, done a video about these before. But each one, it has a character theme on it, and then when you open it up, it has a persona there that wraps around, and then you have a couple episodes on Blu-ray and a soundtrack. And that's something that I really, really, really cared about, because when these came out, I don't think they had an official complete soundtrack disc out yet. So this was one of the only ways to get the soundtrack for a while, unless you just downloaded it illegally. But if I can own something, I'll try to own it legally. But yeah, really cool. The prices fluctuated a lot on them. They used to be very expensive. And I think they've actually gone down quite a bit, because I have, right beside that one, the Persona 5 animation, and I was able to get the cardboard sleeve for this one. There is a cardboard sleeve for Persona 4 the animation. I don't have that, but I do have the one for 5. Same style, where if you pull it out, has character theme, and it comes with all the other stuff. But this I think I got for like $200, which is still a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But the Persona 4 ones were $400 or $500. So, not sure what was going on with that. Maybe it had something to do with localization, or maybe they just found a lot. I don't know. But yeah, that is the third shelf. I did find the case for Persona 4 Golden. This one was separate from the collection because, like I said before, my wife had been playing, and she actually beat Persona 4 Golden. So we had the case on a separate area. But yeah, so that's what that looks like right there. Also on this shelf, we're just going to start going through these. We have the Persona 3 Reload soundtrack. This hasn't been opened because the soundtrack has been uploaded to YouTube and all that stuff. So I just listened to it on there and just have this sealed. It's more of a collector's item than an actual thing that I use. This is a vinyl, and we're going to see a lot more vinyls in the next video. But this is a mini vinyl, Hymn of the Soul. It might just be one song, actually. This came with one of the Persona 5 collector's editions, I'm pretty sure. It's been so long now that I'm kind of forgetting what it is and where it came from. This is the Persona Super Live 2019 collector's edition. There's actually a t-shirt in here, like I've said with a lot of my other videos. I have done an unboxing on this, so if you want to go and see that entire thing, go ahead. But I believe this has the Blu-ray, the soundtrack, and that t-shirt. Here we have a little Koromaru stuffy. This came with the Persona Q2 Collector's Edition, which we'll see in a second. But I have him sit out, and he just sits there and watches over my life. Here we have a mask. This is Persona 25th Anniversary, another thing they're selling. The 25th anniversary happened during COVID, so masks were pretty important at that time, and they decided to sell one of these. It's actually too small for me, but it definitely is something that's just there, and it's kind of like a little reminder of the times we all lived through. So here's a box that has this figure in it, and the figure's actually inside there. His persona is not with this figure, it is just him. The reason it's in the box is because quite frankly, I'm out of room. There's nowhere for him to go, so he stays in that box, but maybe I can display him if I reorganize some things. Here we have the Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth Showtime Premium Edition. You can see those pins, which I think we've already seen. The Koromaru stuffy. There's some cards in there that I don't have out, and then an art book that I don't have out. Again, just no room for a lot of that stuff. But this is a nice box. I actually had to buy a replacement box because the original one that Amazon shipped was pretty beat up and destroyed. So there's something that I've had to refurbish. And then right beside it is Persona Q Shadow Labyrinth Wildcard Edition. This does not say what was in it, but I believe there was a 3DS case in there. I know that there were tarot cards in there because what Atlas did was they gave you half the tarot cards in this, and then the other half in Persona Arena. And we will see that. I actually have that displayed on my wall, so we'll see that in a later video. Here, this is one of the more rare things that I've seen. The Persona 4 Arena Limited Edition. I believe this only came out in Europe. I might be wrong about that, but I believe it did. It's a little beat up on the side, but again, for something this rare, I don't really care about the box. I've done an unboxing on this a long time ago, and I actually finished the puzzle. There was a puzzle that it came with. I actually have it framed on my wall. We did it, we glued it, and we hung it up, so pretty cool. And after we go through all the shelf stuff, I will go around and show you all the things that I have hung up, because there's quite a few posters and even some especially interesting things that are up on the wall. Okay, now we have a lot of soundtracks. Persona is known for its music, and I am no stranger to albums. So starting off, we have these mini soundtracks from Persona. These are the PSP games, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. And then we have the original soundtracks to both these games. I think I've shown these before, but these are complete soundtracks, and when I say complete, I mean every single sound that you could think of is on here. But they made those for both Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Persona 4 Base X Base, remixes of these 10 tracks from Persona 4. Excuse me, again, I just woke up. I probably should have given myself a little time, but the video must go on. One of my more favorite soundtracks is the Reincarnation remixes from Persona 4. Really good remixes of a lot of those songs. Here we have the original soundtrack. This is half of the soundtrack. Oh no, this is both. What they did was when they originally released Persona 4, half the soundtrack was with the game, and then you could buy the other half of the soundtrack, and then later they released a complete soundtrack. Here's one of the live events, 2017, the P Sound Bomb. Again, if you like live music and you like Persona, those are pretty good. They have tracks from all of their titles. Well, I shouldn't say all their titles, but the most popular titles of the time. They'll add tracks and put them live. Here we have the Persona 2, what is this? Is this Innocent Sin? Yes. The original soundtrack from Innocent Sin. I believe this is the 19 or 2000, or the 1999 version. Yeah, so this soundtrack is from the 1999 game. I think it came out in 1999, at least that's the copyright date on the back. So kind of cool that I was able to find that. Here's another Super Live 2019 P Sound Street. And as you can see, this is 5 is a lot bigger than this one. We still got 4 and 3 in the back, but 5 is definitely taking over the show at this point. Here, I'm excited about this because this actually took a while to get localized. But this is the Persona 4 animation soundtrack. Like I said in the other video, I have those collector's editions for Persona 4 the animation because that was one of the only ways to get the complete soundtrack back in the day. Eventually they released this that has the complete soundtrack. We have the 2013 live event, which this might be my favorite one. It's the perfect, it makes sense, this is when I became a big Persona fan, was around 2013. But it just has a mix of all the games that I like, a lot of good songs in there, a lot of good performances. Another live band, this one is from 2010, yeah, 2010. It's shorter, but still good. Has Time, that's one of my favorite tracks. I'm thinking about making like some top 10 videos about top 10 tracks from certain series like Persona 3, 4, or 5, but like all the Persona 3 games. Time would definitely be on the Persona 3 one. Very good song. Here we have the original Persona soundtrack, again from 1996 or whatever it would be. Pretty cool. And if you'd like a video for me to go more in depth on all these, I can do that. I guess do unboxings of CDs. This is the mini soundtrack for the PSP game of Persona, the remake. It gets a little confusing with all the remakes and all the ports and all that stuff. Here we have Persona 5, the Royale original soundtrack. And then right beside it we have the Persona 5 original soundtrack. And I like a lot of these have these glossy cardboard covers. But as you can see, lots and lots of tracks on this one. Here we have the Persona 4 Ultimate, Arena Ultimate soundtrack. A lot of these were Japan only, which I guess makes sense. I think CDs are still slightly bigger in Japan. They actually have CD stores and stuff, unlike in America where it is, for all intents and purposes, dead unless you buy a CD online. I don't know any store actually that you can walk into and buy a CD. They might still have little sections at like Target or something like that, but definitely not much. Another Ultimate soundtrack. This one's a mini soundtrack, so a lot smaller. This one is Persona 4 Arena soundtrack. It has 6 tracks in there. The Persona 4 Dancing All Night soundtrack. We saw the collector's edition 2 videos ago, maybe. But here I have a 3-disc complete soundtrack. Another collaboration. Persona's done quite a few collaborations with different bands and artists, and this one is not too bad. Speaking of, here's another Base X Base collaboration, but this time it's for Persona 3. We have the Persona 3 Fez original soundtrack. This one is the one that I actually first got. I wasn't going to collect the soundtracks, but I played Persona 3 Portable, and I played the female route, and the music was so good. A Way of Life, Time, Wiping All Out. These are all great tracks, and I was like, fine, I'll do it. And as you can see, that's what happened. You get one, and you just keep going. We have the Burn My Dread. This is another remix, reincarnation, just like the Persona 4 reincarnation. Pretty good remixes on there. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment original soundtrack. Copyright 2000, so this is a 25-year-old soundtrack. It's kind of neat. Persona 5 Scramble soundtrack. I think the only one I don't have is Tactica. I don't have the Tactica soundtrack, and that's because these usually take a little longer to make. If they make them, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they still make them. But if they do, they probably have at this point. That's the only game soundtrack that I don't have. Here's the bonus disc for Persona 2. We talked about that a long time ago back in the first video where I showed you my Persona 2 game on PlayStation 1, and I was like, oh, that's where the bonus disc goes. This is the bonus disc. It's kind of cool to look through. I think there's a teaser for an anime that never came out on that bonus disc. They're going to make a Persona 2 anime, which would have been really cool, but oh well, I guess. Persona Q2 original soundtrack. And then right beside it is the Persona Q soundtrack, which great music in Persona Q also. Very good, very good. Here we have the Persona Trinity Souls soundtrack. I really like the style of Trinity Souls. If you've never seen it, I recommend giving it a try. It's definitely a lot different than modern Persona, but you can kind of see where they're starting to bridge the gap between 2 and 3 and how that transformation was coming together. Persona 4 Golden, one of the best soundtracks in my opinion. In any video game, just hit after hit after hit. This is the side B soundtrack I was talking about. Side A came with the game, and then you would have to go out and buy side B if you wanted to complete, or wait and then get the other one that I showed you before. These are the last two. We have Super Live 2015. So the only one that I'm missing in these is 2022. And that was around a time where, well, I mean, life was just weird at that point, but also I was slowing down a little bit on Persona collecting. I have a list of collectibles I want to get, and Tactica soundtrack, 2022 soundtrack are on there. Not much more, actually. I'm pretty content at this point. Here we have the Persona 3 original soundtrack. So, lots and lots of CDs, lots and lots of soundtracks. I would like to push these back. I've actually moved with all this stuff quite a few times. The last 7 years of my life, I've moved like 5 or 6 times. And I tell you what, no greater anxiety than moving this whole collection every single time. Alright, we got a few more things that was on the shelf. So we saw Persona Q2. Here are the other buttons that were in there. Again, I want to find a good way of displaying these. Buttons are hard to display. I'm sure if I was dedicated and looked it up, I could find some good way to display them, but I don't know. Right beside that, we have this Persona 5 button. I have no idea what this came from, but it's cool, I guess. I have this little Nanako magnet. Super adorable. Could hang it on my fridge if I want, but I just have her stay in the packaging and kind of set her up. Some more keychains. We saw some of these earlier. We saw Rise and the Persona 4 protagonist. Do people just call him you? I don't know. But here we have Chie, and then we have Yukiko, and they're all very interestingly themed. Especially the Halloween ones. Yosuke is dressed up in like a cat costume. I don't know if these are official. I mean, they have on the back copyright Sega and Atlas, so I assume either someone's really lying or they are official. I'm not sure. That's official, I guess. I don't know. And then we have Velvet Rain Kanji right beside. Most of this collection is official stuff, but some things like this are not. This is a phone case I have for one of my iPhones from so long ago, 13 years ago, something like that. It's one of the only unofficial things that I have alongside the things that my family's made for me. But it looks good, so I keep it propped up, and it's just a little display thing that I have. Here we have a mug. We have a few cups coming up. But this is from Persona 3 Reload. It shows our main character walking in different outfits. Here we have another mug. This is the Persona 5 or Persona 25th anniversary, not Persona 5 mug, and I believe if it's one of those heat changing ones, so if you put warm water or tea or something in it, it'll change color. And then we have a Persona 5 Tactica mug right here. Looks pretty cool. And inside that, we have, you guessed it, more keychains. I did an unboxing of all these keychains not too long ago, a couple months ago, so if you'd like to go check that video out for a more in-depth look at all these, feel free to. But these are just a few Persona 5 keychains. cool stuff. Again, wish I had a way to display them. And now that I'm going through this whole collection and kind of reorganizing everything, maybe I'll take some time and figure out a way to display all this stuff properly. Alright, last things. We have these cups from Persona Q2. These cups are really, really cool. They have the logos of their schools on the bottom, and then they have the characters, the chibi version of the characters on the side. But really cool cups, and there's two more. Persona 4, and then Persona 3 again, but the female. It's really cool. Still upset to this day that it didn't get an English dub, but what are you gonna do? Alright, and that is the fourth shelf. So the first thing we have here is, this is the Persona 4 Arena fighting stick. It looks like that inside the box. I think I did an unboxing. Most of these things that I talked about, I've either done videos or unboxings before. These are just compilation videos, showing you a whole bunch at one time instead of you having to go through 20, 30, 40 different videos to see all these things. But this is a fighting stick, pretty cool. We will be talking about fighting sticks here later. This right here, this is the 25th anniversary. This is a picture frame they sold during that anniversary. It's pretty cool. It's big. What I don't like about it is there's no real hook to hang it up, so it is designed to just sit like that. Looks nice, but again, I wish I could hang it up. This right here, this is a little stand from Persona 4 Golden. This actually came with the limited run Persona 4 Golden, whatever they called it, collector's edition. I think these are real sunglasses. It says a UV protection sticker on them. Definitely too small for me, but those look pretty cool. Back here, I know I've talked about these a long time ago, but these are my crystals. They do light up if the batteries, I'm sure, are dead. But yeah, very dead. But you can see kind of this is a Persona 4 dancing one, and I have quite a few of them. We're about to see in a second. This one is Persona 3 dancing. They're kind of hard to show on film. There you go. It's not a bad shot. You see they're 3D and they're etched on the inside. This one is Persona 5. Not dancing, just Persona 5. Main character holding up his little prison tag. And then this last one is Persona 5, but back to dancing. And these bases, they light up and they change colors, and they look really cool on their shelf when they're all lit up and things like that. Like I said, the batteries are dead. Okay. We have some figures back here. I know I've talked about before, my figure collection isn't the best. It isn't great, but I do have some, and it is ever growing. It's kind of the new thing that I'm focusing on right now, are the figures, since, well, I already have so much about everything else. I recently did an unboxing of quite a few of these figures, like this one right here. This is Rise, and she's sitting on some TVs. I think they have a similar style for Marie from Persona 4 Golden, also sitting on TVs, but looks really good, pretty cool. Here we have Chie in Gekkoukan High School, so Persona 3 style uniform. Unfortunately, this is my only Chie figure, which is a crime against humanity. I need to fix that sometime. This is the Persona 4 protagonist. This is from the arena. Oh no, animation, my bad. Persona 4 the animation. They had a whole series of this. I might get more of them later. The stands are kind of big, but admittedly, they do look really good. And here we have Yukiko, also in that Gekkoukan High outfit. Right there. So one of these is actually coming in today. Maybe it'll be here by the time I have the last collection video. But this is, they have this Velvet Room series where they have the protagonists of 3, 4, and then 5 all sitting in a chair like this. So that 5th one comes in today. I actually ordered it like 2 months ago, and for some reason Amazon just took forever to ship it. But I saw it actually shipped finally, and it's coming in. Here's my little Yukiko. She looks adorable like this. I know there's also a series of this. There's a lot more types. I'm not, I mean, if you see my gamer drawer, I have a lot of figures. I'm not too into like figures, I guess, which sounds silly because again, I have a ton of them. But I don't have that same drive of getting the complete series of like this style or that style, or whatever, like I am with soundtracks or games or things like that. So it really is just like opportunity, and then does it look cool? Do I like it? Is the price right? I'm kind of like this one, Futaba. She's, oh my goodness, we're just breaking things now. Like that Futaba one. I'm not the biggest Futaba fan. I mean, she's okay. It's not like a hit or anything. But the price was right. And it was easy to get. This is, how did I have this on before? Okay. There we go. If you put it in correctly, it won't fall. This is why you're not supposed to mess with any of this stuff. You put a figure up, you get it correct, and you don't touch it like that. Okay, so we're gonna look at a couple more things. That way, you know, we don't actually make 400 videos. This is also on my shelf. This is the Persona 5 PS4 Pro. It is a fully functional, very heavy PS4 Pro. I don't play on it because, well, I have a PS5, but also I just don't use it. I don't play it. But it's really cool. Very freaking expensive. Still not sure if it was worth the price, but you know, what's done is done. Going back to fighting sticks, here we have the Mad Catz Persona 4 Arena Ultimax fighting stick. I actually do use this fighting stick still. I'm not very good, but I do use it. It's nice, it's hefty, good response and all that. The box is in the closet. I'm fairly certain I've shown the box before in a video. But yeah, how do you display something like that? I don't know. I'm gonna show you two more things, and then we're gonna call for this part just because I'm running out of room. We're kind of getting to the bigger stuff. It's a lot easier to show CDs than it is big box things. These also recently, I know I've shown, but oh, it's upside down. This is the limited run Persona 3 Portable Collector's Edition. I did a whole unboxing of it a couple months ago. If you want to go check that out to see all the cool stuff inside. And actually does have some really cool stuff in there. The Invoker replica specifically, I really like. And then where those glasses came from, we have the, it's upside down again. The Persona 4 Golden Limited Run Collector's Edition. Yeah, so these were all kind of like miscellaneous. My shelf, my one shelf, I have a whole Persona shelf. It's full. And I was actually just talking with my wife about maybe buying a second shelf and moving some things around. Because after doing this, it's like so many things were just shoved in. And it's nice to display all this stuff, but obviously you need a lot of room to display all this stuff. We'll see about doing that. But yeah, I think this is a shorter video. But I'm out of space. It's just bigger things. So we're going to end it here. But then I think, yeah, actually, you know what? We're not going to end it here. We're going to go mobile. Because I'm going to show you. So there's the mess of the last shelf. We'll do that in a bit. But I'm going to take this opportunity to show you the things that I have up on the wall. So here, the first thing, this is a face cover for a PlayStation 4 Slim. When they, don't mind that. When they came out with the PS4 Pro for the Persona 5, they also came out with two PS4s. I was not going to buy those, but I did buy the covers because that was basically all that was different on them. We have a wall scroll right here for Persona 3 Reload. Really nice, really cool. That Persona 4 Arena limited edition puzzle that I talked about, there it is, framed up on the wall. Looks really nice. And here's another puzzle I have of Persona Q2. Glued it, framed it. Again, looks really good. Here's some fan art I have. Got this at Kansas City Comic Con. Really cool art. I think, oh no, the other ones are Zelda, which I don't even think I have the Zelda ones up because, again, I'm out of room. Here we have another wall scroll. I got this at some convention. I don't remember which one. But it's Persona 4. The animation is very big. Hides behind the TV. There's the other PlayStation 4 cover. And I have this just hanging on the wall. They're very delicate. I've been extra precautious about not scratching them. This up here is a calendar for, that was on the Amazon edition of Persona 4, the collector's edition. And then those tarot cards I was telling you about back in the other videos that came with Persona Q and the Persona Arena, I had them framed on there, so always have that. And then I have a couple jackets. I did an unboxing of this. It's one of my more popular videos actually, but this is a bomber jacket with Persona 3 Reload. It has Aegis on it. On the back, I've worn it a couple times, pretty cool. Here I have my Persona 5 Letterman jacket. I do not wear that, but again, it's kind of cool. And then this, you can see it's been worn a lot. I wore this a lot in high school, but this is Yasogami High hoodie, has the emblem on the back. Yeah, so there's those, and I think, you know what, we're gonna do one more thing. Make this video 20 minutes long. Why not? Not one more thing. We're gonna look at the stuff on the top shelf, actually. It's mainly boxes, but we're gonna go ahead and check them out. So right here I have a huge Koromaru plush. This came with one of the movies. I think it was the 4th movie actually, but it was either a pre-order bonus or a special edition bonus or something. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long. Here we have Persona 5 Royale, the Treasure Box edition. It has like a bag in there and I think some more cards and stuff like that. You know, if I'm ever rich, if I ever hit the lottery, and like actually can afford, and I know you'd be like, wow, aren't you rich? You have all this. I promise you, this is working 3 jobs for, well, I don't work 3 jobs anymore, but since I was 15, I worked 3 jobs at 15 and I worked 3 jobs up until I was 24, 25. And I always had a 3rd job for this. Like I had a job for Persona stuff. Slightly insane. Very tiring, and I'm glad I don't do that anymore. But and that's why I don't have as many things. I don't do as many unboxings. Well, A, I own a lot of stuff, but B, I just don't work that much anymore. I work 40 hours a week now. I go crazy. Anyways, I would like to display all the things in there, but you need a big house, and I don't have a house. Here, also on the top shelf, we have the Persona 3 Reload Collector's Edition box. Really good game, by the way. Maybe I'll do reviews one day of some of the games, because I definitely don't like all of them, but... Well, actually, I shouldn't say I don't like all of them. I think I like every Persona game. It's just some I love. Well, others I just don't like. Up here, we have the Valentine's Day edition, aka the Take Your Heart edition. It was originally supposed to release on Valentine's Day, and then it was delayed for a 4th, 5th, 6th time. I don't know. They delayed Persona 5 so much. It was actually insane. And then the last thing, which we already saw the contents of it, but this is the box for the PS4 Pro. And it sits at the top. It's very big, very shiny. It looks nice. It's very dusty at the top. And then honestly, the back might be cooler than the front because it has all the personas on it. I might flip it around and show the back now. as in like on my shelf. I have the other side facing, but I think I'm gonna turn it around. That looks really cool. This Persona 5 Velvet Room figure. I have 3 and 4. I already showed those on one of the other videos, but now we have Persona 5s. And these are all going to look really nice side by side on each other. They all have the same aesthetic, sitting on the Velvet Room chair. Just like that. There he is. Looking very smug, but for good reason. He kind of has earned it. So we're going to set that there, and that's going to go on the shelf somewhere. Honestly, doing this review, I've learned that I think I need to get in our shelf because everything's a little too packed up. In this video, there's going to be a lot of random things that we check out, some collector's editions, some vinyls, and then a lot of memorabilia, starting with this stuff. So here we have a little case, and this came with some special edition, and I have Makoto on there because she is the best Persona 5 girl. I have this little sticker with Ryuji on it. Not sure where I got it from, but it's cool, I guess. This is extensively garbage. Here we have a wall scroll for Persona 5 Tactica. This came with the collector's edition from Japan. This along with a mug, which was in the last part. We looked at that. I think the last part. No, 2 parts ago. I've done so many of these videos, and I've done all these within 24 hours, so it's kind of become a blur. But anyways, yeah, a couple things getting set. Here we have this patch. This patch actually you got for signing up for some Atlas newsletter or something like that. They sent you that in the mail. Pretty cool. These are just paper sleeves. These were, well, I think these might be postcards actually. If you see in there's quite a few postcards there. This was just paper sleeve that one of the little standees came in. Here, I'll go ahead and put the other ones there. That's kind of garbage, but you know, whatever. Here we have the Persona Dancing Collection 3 and 5 Collector's Edition for PS Vita. The Japanese version, as you can tell, came with the soundtrack and the games, and I'm sure there's a couple other things in there. Here we have PlayStation Vita skin for the Dancing All Night. Now I have the Dancing All Night console, so I don't really need that, but I have it there just for fun. Here's a little postcard with this actually goes to the puzzle that came with the Persona 4 Arena Collector's Edition. I decided to keep the postcard because maybe I'll hang it up sometime or do something like that. Some 25th anniversary stuff. I have this little pouch right here that, quite frankly, I have no idea what I'll actually do with that. Probably nothing ever in my life. And then here's a bigger bag. Same design on there. Video games, live, stage plays, movies, animations, events. It's true. They do everything. I'm really excited about that Persona Live happening in Vegas. Or not Vegas. It'd be cool if I was in Vegas, in LA. Hoping I can make my way to that and see that live. So this is not official, but this is one of my favorite items because my wife made it for me. It's Teddy, and I'd like to get this framed one day and hang it up, but she's a really good artist. Art by Susan R. Go follow her on Instagram. She'll make you really anything. She made me a Zelda painting too, where it's Wind Waker and it has all the characters all on the red lion boat. Here we have a bag that came with the 25th anniversary stuff. If you ordered like $30 or $40 or something like that worth of stuff, they sent you that. Here we have some Persona 4 golden pins. Someone actually just threw this in. I was buying, it was one of the things off eBay that I bought a Persona, and he was like, hey, I have these pins, throw them in for $5. And I was like, sure. So that's how I ended up with those. We have this bag from Persona Q2. Put your 3DS in there if you still play your 3DS. I actually do. Here we have not one, but 2 calendars, Persona 3 Reload and then Persona 5 Tactica. I think I mentioned in the unboxing videos that they literally just reused this and reskinned it. Quite hilarious. But yeah, calendars that are already out of date. Here we have Polonia Mall. I think that's how you say it, Polonia. This is a tote bag. This came with the Persona 3 Reload collector's edition from Japan. And speaking of Japanese collector's editions, this t-shirt also came with the Tactica edition. And you can see it has the chibi version of Joker. All there for glory. These are all great things that I wish I could find a place for them, and I wish I could display them somehow, but a lot of them are hard. Or like with the wall scroll, I'm just kind of out of space on the wall. But some cool things, some things that might actually be classified as garbage, but that's okay. I'm going to save those for a second, because we're going to move on to this. Here we have the Persona 5 Royale Straight Flush Edition. This was a Japanese version. I have an unboxing on this, along with almost all the other collector's editions on my channel. So if you want to see those, go ahead and check over my channel and subscribe to see future unboxings. What a plug right there for what you're already watching. It's an interesting plug. Here we have the 20th Anniversary Persona 5 Edition. I swear, I said this in another video, but Persona 5 has had like 4 collector's editions. I can think of these two, and then the no, it's 4. I see the third one, because there's the Take Your Heart edition that came out in America. There's these two, and then there's the Persona 5 Royale Phantom Thieves edition, which we already looked at the Joker mask. We had that on display, but there is the box with some other things inside of it. We have the Persona 4 Dancing All Night Disco Fever edition. Love this game. I need to do a video just about this game one day, because it is quite amazing, and it's so much better than people make it out to be, especially compared to Persona 3 and 5 dancing games. They really did a good job with 4, and yeah, it's a shame what happened after. These are a couple boxes that I keep. The 3DS box, we already looked at the 3DS. And one of the parts, God, I don't know, go watch all the parts, I guess, and you'll find the 3DS in there somewhere. And then Persona Q2 puzzle. I showed you the puzzle framed on my wall in the last part. This is the box it goes in. It's a nice little box. Nice art, so I decided to keep it. Also, if it says Persona on it, I have a very hard time getting rid of it. Here we have Persona 5. I think this is Strikers, I believe. I definitely did an unboxing on this if you want to check that out. You know what? Let's open it up. Yeah. Persona 5 Strikers on Nintendo Switch. Has the soundtrack in there. And then making of on Blu-ray, which is really cool. And then this box, these glossy cardboard. Talked about it before because a lot of Persona versions have that glossy cardboard. But I really appreciate it. Here we have some standees. These are definitely bootleg, but that's okay. You get fandom, celebrate it however you want. A lot of this stuff I have, actually most of the stuff I have here is official, but there are a couple things, and these, A, you can feel by the quality that these are fan-made, but B, they just randomly included the Persona 3 protagonists inside all the Persona 5 ones. And if you notice, going through these, oh look, the whole cast is there, except we're missing one blue-haired companion. Actually, we're missing a couple, because I don't think Haru's on here. And Joker, Ryuji, Morgana. Yeah. Oh no, Haru's right there. No, it's just Yusuke. And they put the Persona 3 protagonist instead, because they probably just Googled it and looked it up. But they're really stylish, they're really cool, and they're nice to have. Here we have the Persona 2 Eternal Punishment Deluxe Edition that came out in Japan. Again, done an unboxing on this. Has a little watch in there. You can actually get this pretty cheap, surprisingly cheap for how old it is. I guess since it's only in Japanese. You can actually get a lot of Japanese games cheap. I think Japan is just a smaller market inherently, so things don't sell out as fast. So like, I don't know, just off the top of my head, like the Pokemon games for GBA and stuff, you can get those relatively cheap, especially compared to America. You just gotta know how to read Japanese. Alright. The last thing we're gonna look at for this video are a bunch of vinyls, which I know you guys are just so excited about. And to start off, we have an unopened copy of Persona 1 and 2 on vinyl. Now, why is this unopened? And why is this Persona Dancing Collection on vinyl unopened? That's a great question. Well, to answer that question, let me show you this. Here is Persona Dancing Collection on vinyl opened. Now, you might be asking yourself, that one, Andrew, why'd you buy 2 copies? And that one, Andrew, why is this one kind of damaged in the corner? Well, you see, buying insurance on things is fantastic because when it's been a month and your things haven't shown up in the mail, you can say, hey, this hasn't shown up in the mail. I think it's lost. And then they send you a replacement for free. And then, no joke, 10 months later, the original shows up on your doorstep. I have no idea how that happened. It was hilarious. But yeah, that's why I now have 2 copies of both Persona 1 and 2 and then the Persona 3 dancing ones. And I've thought about giving them away or maybe doing a giveaway or something, but I'm just not sure. We'll see what I end up doing with it. Here we have the Persona 5 vinyls. I don't think I've actually opened too many of these and unboxed a lot of these, but I have a couple of them. Maybe one day, if you guys say in the comments, like, hey, I would really like, and that goes for anything in this whole collection, like, hey, can you talk more about this or unbox this or go in more depth about that? Let me know, and I would be happy to. We have the Persona 4 Golden vinyl. A lot of these actually are sealed because we don't even have our vinyl player hooked up. There's just no space for it. But I think like with a lot of people, especially these days, you buy vinyls not to listen to, but to really collect. I mean, you might listen to them once or twice, but it's so much easier just turning on, you know, Spotify or YouTube Music or something like that. Persona 4 Arena, the original. We have the Persona 5 Mega Mix. And we have here the Persona 3 Reload Mega Mix. And above that, we have the Persona 4 Mega Mix. Which I really appreciate them doing these Mega Mix, like, cheaper options, because A, the originals that we'll get to later are expensive, but also a lot of them sold out and they keep coming in and out of stock. These are a nice, more affordable option, and they kind of give you something similar. Here we have the Persona 4 Arena and Arena Ultimax, which the music in these games is fantastic. Then we have the full Persona 3 Reload soundtrack on vinyl. And we have Persona Q. So I think if they continue this, which I was really surprised that they did Persona Q and Persona Arena, I assume at this point they're going to do Q2 and Tactica and Scramble, because I mean, you've already done everything else at this point. Why would you not do them? So yeah, have a lot of the vinyls, and then one more thing on this shelf, and then one more thing after that. We have the complete box that has all, oh my goodness, it's so heavy, has all the vinyls in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can slide these out. So here, oh, the style, so good. It's so retro. Love it. But we have the Persona 1. And this is Persona 2. And it's an Eternal Punishment on one box set. I'm running out of room. I'm going to set them over here. I'm afraid I'm going to crush these, even though most of them are in boxes. Some of them are in thin cardboard. You guessed it, Persona 3. Very good artwork. The art on all these is actually really, really, really well done, which I know vinyls, that's like most of the looter, I guess, is the art. Persona 4. And then I don't have 5 in here. You saw 5 earlier. I actually put 5 Royale, which really looks good and has this cardboard sleeve. And it has that gold in it. It's really nice. This one, this sucker's heavy. You can tell it's new. The Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale official design work set. That thing will, that'll break your car. Rooms right there. That thing is heavy. We have quite a few of those, but actually on the top of the shelf, and we're obviously not going to go through each and every one of these. Well, not page by page, that would take forever. But we have a bunch of mangas up here. Specifically, we have the Persona 4 Arena and Arena Ultimax mangas. These are really cool. I actually didn't know that these got localized until like 6 months ago, and I was ecstatic because these are mangas. All the mangas actually took forever to get localized, and I'm really surprised that we did end up getting these. Really, really happy about that. So we have those, and then right beside those, we have, what are we going to go to next? We can go to this one. We have the Persona 3 mangas. These are out of order. That's okay. When you move a lot from apartment to apartment, things kind of take a while to get organized. But as you can see, very nice. If you've never read these adaptations, they are adaptations. There are things that don't happen in the games that they do include in these mangas. They give characters some more traits. It doesn't follow the timeline verbatim in the mangas. 3 especially, the beginning of it jumps around a little bit. But it really cool adaptation of the game we all know and love. Up next we have, and admittedly I don't have all these, but also they're not all out yet, the Persona 5 mangas. I think the only one I'm missing is the most recent one, and that's because I haven't caught up yet, so I was waiting to finish up, catching up on this, and then I was going to get the latest one. And I guess not funny, but it's interesting. I'm not a huge manga person. I mean, I own quite a few, but I would say about a third of the manga that I own are Persona manga. So if that tells you anything about how much manga I read. But these are really cool. Again, kind of like 3, and you're about to see in a second, there's another game that they adapted. Well, actually 2 more. Highly recommend them if you've never checked them out before, because they are unique. Here we have, and I haven't read this one yet because I'm not sure when to read it, but Persona 5 Mementos missions. I'm assuming these are just side stories for the Persona 5 manga, kind of like Mementos has those little side stories that you do inside of the game. Here we have the Persona Q manga, and you can see that they did a Persona 4 side and then a couple of Persona 3 sides, but those are really cool. Again, Persona Q is a fantastic game. If you've never played it, I highly recommend it. Unfortunately, the only way you can play it is on 3DS, but with Etrian Odyssey games being ported to PC, they might have been ported to other consoles too, but definitely PC. Maybe we'll get Persona Q ported, since those are essentially the same game, same style at least. Here we have the Persona 4 manga. I believe this was the first manga to be localized, the first Persona manga to be localized in English. At least out of all of these official ones. I'm fairly certain 3 came out afterwards. And then, like I said, the arena games are kind of newer compared to the rest. And then Q was after Q. So here we have these. I do like that these ones, if you noticed, are taller than these ones. So some of the pictures, if we look through them, the full page pictures, they're obviously bigger because the pages are bigger. Really cool. Hey, spoilers, I guess. Igor's in this book. That's why I'm saying game. Igor's in the game, everybody. Better watch out. I got a couple more Persona 4 ones. Got those right there. And, you know, I'll say this with just about everything that we've looked at so far. Highly recommend them. I wouldn't be so into Persona and all this different media if it wasn't good and if it wasn't to recommend. I don't like getting things that are mediocre and getting it just because, well, it's a part of the fandom or anything like that. If something's not good, I tend not to involve myself with it. But just about everything that Persona media, every piece of Persona media that's created is at least good. Even the animes that are okay, they're okay. They're not bad. Okay. I decided because there's a lot of books. Also, this is part 7, I think, so I've been doing this all day. Here we have Persona 5, the animation. I have 2 of them. I accidentally bought 2. Art book, though. I love these art books. As you're about to see, we're going to look through quite a few of them. But just all the design works. Maybe it's the inner artist in me, but I love seeing all that stuff. Here we have kind of like a fan analysis book. A lot of these were Japan only. So you're going to see that if you don't read Japanese, get a translator or learn Japanese. Persona Q visual materials. A lot of them are also design works, so you can't see the comments on them, but you can appreciate the art and the designs that go into all these. But really, really, really cool stuff. I really do recommend, even if you don't speak or read Japanese, I do recommend some of these design works or character anthologies. This is a comic, actually. And there are some comics I don't, I feel like I always have to mention this because I have so much. I don't own everything. You notice I don't have the Persona drama CDs or anything like that. I don't have many, if any, of the comics except for maybe that one. I just wasn't, I don't know, it felt a little too fanny to me, like a fan made. Like this really seems like a fan book. So, you know, having some of them is cool, and I don't knock them if you have those things, like, more power to you. It's awesome. If you like that stuff, it's just, I'm not that into it. Here I have 2 Persona 4 guides. There's a point where I was buying so many of these books that I forgot what I had, and I ended up buying the same one, as you can see, a couple times. I think there's another one that I accidentally bought twice, but we'll see as we continue through. I think I have just about every strategy guide, whether in English or in Japanese. And yes, they still make strategy guides. For Persona 5, they have a strategy guide. I think I even have the Persona 5 Royale strategy guide, if that exists. Here we're going to get into some, I think these are fan-made. It's so hard again with Japanese, especially trying to figure out online if something is officially released or unofficially released in Japanese. But we have a Persona 1 guide booklet. And then we have Persona 2 Innocent Sin Master Guide booklet. And, you know, these have everything you'd expect a strategy guide to have. They tell you about the dungeons, they tell you about different personas, different attacks, abilities, how to get through, boss weaknesses, all those things. I have looked some of these up. I have translated some of these, and I mean they are helpful. Here's a Persona Q2 thing. I have no idea what this is. It's in our strategy guide. Okay. Persona Q2 strategy guide. It's just a lot of Japanese on the front. I have no idea what it's saying. I remember my mother, when I first started buying Japanese things, and buying like Japanese games, Japanese books and stuff, and you know, you can play them, but you don't know what they're saying. You kind of have to just imprint a lot. Should be like, what if that's all saying Death to America and stuff like that? Like, A, I don't care. Because I'm playing a video game. I mean, it could say whatever it wants, it's a video game. But B, I don't think it does. When I was playing Pokemon in Japanese, I don't think it was saying things like that. Here we have Persona 3 Fez. Whole walkthrough. Another Persona 2 Innocent Sin. This is a textbook. And I think this more goes over the characters and their personas rather than being a strategy guide. Yeah, Here we're talking about personas and their abilities, all those things. Again, really cool. A lot of this is for the art, especially for those older games. I really love the character designs and the art of them. Here's Persona 4, the perfect guide, the official perfect guide. It's perfect, guys. If you read this, if you see this, it's perfect. Absolutely. Here's another Persona 2 Master Guide. This art cover is really, honestly, I got this one because of this art cover, with Tetsuya looking like that. Really, really creepy. Truths behind the memories. And again, going through it, if you want to use it as a guide, that's great. Also, if you just like to flip through and see the different character designs, persona designs, monster designs, all those things. The sprite works in the first two games, or on the PSP games, especially, they're pretty fantastic. Here, another Persona, and again, this cover is sick. Talks about, you can see here, has some character profiles for Persona 1, has some Persona profiles, or these are the moods that you can have the enemies be in and things like that. Shows you the guides, all the mazes, they literally are just mazes. Things like that. And it's books like that where I'm like, this feels like a fan book, not an official book. Another Persona 2 Eternal Punishment guidebook. Already looked through a couple of them, so we'll skip that. This one has the official art from Persona 2. Has the different characters, and these pages especially, these are so cool. The art of it, the style of it, 90s style, man, it's so good. So good. Here's a Persona 2 Innocent Sin World. This is kind of like a fan, what would you call it? Not a fan comic, a fan book, I guess you could say. A lot of fan art, a lot of fan stories, things like that. Q&As. Just really cool fan stuff. Here, we can read this one, if you read English. This is the Persona 4 official guide, the official strategy guide. And this will tell you how to get through Persona 4. It will meticulously say every single thing that you need to know the game. It will give you a whole spelling or a fusion chart if you really want to. And it goes date by date through the whole game. So really cool. You can use it for golden because it's more or less the same game. Another Innocent Sin strategy guide. Again, which one's the official one, which one's the fan ones? I don't know. This one's packaged and sealed. We're gonna keep it that way. Oh my goodness. The cover almost slipped out of this. Persona 5, the Royale Complete Guide. It does exist. Japan just sticks around with CDs and strategy guides and all those things. Imagine if Call of Duty had a strategy guide come out. That's not happening. Here's another Persona 2 Innocent Sin strategy guide. And here is a Persona 3 strategy guide. Pretty cool. A couple more on this shelf, and then we have one more shelf after that. Persona 1, the official perfect guide. So I'm assuming this says it's official. Either it's false advertisement or this actually is the official strategy guide. Which it seems to go a lot more in depth than the other Persona 1 strategy guides we've looked through. So I would say that one probably is the official one. Persona Q, the official perfect guide, strategy guide. Just depends on what they want to say that day. Call it perfect, call it official. And then we have Persona 3 Portable, the official perfect guide. And again, a lot of these didn't get localizations. A lot of these didn't come out in America. I believe only some of the art books, and then like Persona 3 and Persona 2. Speaking of Persona 3, the official strategy guide. Here it is in all its glory. But yeah, I think 4 was about the last one that they made here. They didn't continue on. This page seems to be either ripping out or it's just a little longer than the others. But yeah, there's that for the strategy guides. And now we have the big books. Oy, 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 oy. Oy, oy, oy. I used to have these with all the other stuff, but as you can see, there's a lot of them, and it became a little too much, so we had to move them. These are a lot of the art books, which are super cool. Persona 4, the Golden Animation, Design Works, Art Books. There's, oh, you didn't see that. Really, really cool stuff. Put that there. Not gonna open it, but here is the Persona 4 Golden official design, or Golden Arena Ultimax official design works. Here's technically not Persona, but I guess is on the front. The Sojima artworks. This is in Japanese, but again, most of it is just official design. So I don't think it really matters, except for like, I think he has, yeah, a little interview at the back, which again, I translated and read it. It's a cool interview if you ever get the chance. They did localize that book, I believe. But if you can't afford or see, because I think it was expensive here in the States, because I think it sold out pretty fast. Maybe they've reprinted it and you can get it easily now. But if you can't, and you find the Japanese version, it's not perfect, but Google Translate to save $50, $60, $70, I think it's worth it. Or honestly, it's probably online too. Just look it up online. Persona 4, the Ultimax and Mayonaka Arena, the Ultimax Ultra Super Hold. Official design works. Again, just a lot of really cool art. I wish I could just take some of this out and copy it and put it on my wall. I'm sure I could if I really wanted to, but then I'd have to destroy the integrity of the book, and I don't want to do that. But just a lot of cool art in this one, and all of these, honestly. Oh, what's Persona? What even is a Persona? Who's Persona? Here's the Persona 4 animation visual, complete, again sealed. This is Persona 1, definitely a fan book, 1000% a fan book. Either that or Japan is very different with their design books. I don't even know if this is... No, it is. It's a fan book, all right. It's cool. It's got much more of an 80s style art design to it. And some of these characters I don't even think are in the game. You know, maybe this isn't an official Persona. But no, that's the emblem. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what the hell this is. But it looks cool, so we're gonna keep it. If we're gonna count everything else, we won't count this as part of the collection. That's just a bonus right there. You get a little bonus. I was always iffy on that one because it doesn't look legit, but who knows? Persona Trinity Soul, this is legit. Art book for Trinity Souls. I know I recommended it in one of the previous videos, but if you get the chance, check out Trinity Souls. It's pretty cool. Shows you kind of that gap between 2 and 3. Not timeline wise, but how they were kind of evolving with the series. Moving away from certain things, moving towards other things. Oh my goodness. Some of these are just so big. The art of Persona 5. I remember when this came in, I was so excited. I went to the bathroom with it. Because it came in right when I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, I'll take it with me. And then I started reading it. 2 hours later, I was like, maybe I should go to the bathroom. These two things are actually really, really cool, and I think they're they have to be some of the rarest things that I own book-wise. But here is the Persona 1 English strategy guide, and it's pretty fragile. Honestly, I should probably put it somewhere safe, because I think both this one and then the one we're about to see next are falling a little bit apart. I've tried to keep it in really good condition though. But yeah, super cool, very nostalgic. did not cost $9.95. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I'm not talking about. This one's in much worse condition. It's not terrible by any means. It's still legible, but some of the pages are falling out or about to fall out. So I do have to be extra careful with this. But again, really, really cool that I do have both of these strategy guides. It's kind of a little, it's definitely nostalgic. Somewhere around here, maybe I'll go through them one day, but I think one of the oldest strategy guides I had before this one is my, I have the original Super Mario Sunshine strategy guide from when I was a kid. You know, I was a dumb kid and I didn't know what I was doing, so my parents bought me a strategy guide. And I take care of my stuff, at least I try to, so it's around here somewhere. Actually, it's over there, I know where it is. Persona 5, the official design works, but in Japanese this time. Then we have Persona 4 Arena design works. And again, just a lot of cool art. You can see a lot of this art and stuff online. I don't know if you can find the whole book online. And this is in English, this is not in Japanese. They might still sell this actually. Persona's weird. Some of the things that they make are really available. While other things, which half the time it's things that you wouldn't think of, they just disappear off the face of the planet. Here we have Sojima Artworks, and this is all of his work, so you're going to see some Catherine in there, and then a lot of Persona, and I think there might be something else. A lot of Persona 5. This is 2011 to 2017, so these are for the live music festivals, collaborations, things like that. Pretty cool. Here we have the Persona 4 official design works. This one was available on Amazon for the longest time, for like $20. This was like one of the ones that you could easily get. Granted, I'm thinking 2016, so times have changed. But in 2016, when I was looking up things, and because some of these things, especially like those first two strategy guides, I hunted for those for actually years. A lot of sleuthing and dedicating. I think for that Persona 2 one, I bought it from some random bookstore in California online. Just Google searching Persona 2 official strategy guide, and most of the time nothing pops up, and then every once in a while you get someone who posts something, and nowadays usually they know how much it's worth and they put it for the correct price. But sometimes you either modestly price it or well, that's right, actually no one sells anything for like $1 anymore. Even when I was looking for all these things, someone sold things for $1. Persona 4 Dancing All Night visual book. I really like the style of Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I think it's the only time we've seen the Persona 4 characters in that new engine style. And I imagine this is a lot of what the remake is going to look like, is more like this design, because it looks like Persona 5. Same visual design anyways. Persona Q official design. It's sealed for some reason. Persona 4 Ultimate again. This is actually a strategy guide though, which why you'd need a strategy guide for a fighting game, I don't know, because it has so many tutorials in there. Persona 4 Visual Data. This was another one that was pretty easy to get for a long time. It's pretty small, and all the information in it is already in other books, but that's what you can get, that's what you can get. This is Persona 3 the movie. Visual artworks, really cool. I love the style of the Persona 3 movies. They're also pretty good films too, for trying to adapt a 60-hour game in 4 movies. Pretty good. But yeah, another visual design book. Here we have Persona 4 The Animation official design art book. And again, I love all these, and the way that things get made and design works are actually made and concepts and stuff like that. It's just really, really cool to see behind the scenes and all of it. Oh no, we're almost done. Okay, we got 3 more. Here we, oh my goodness, there's a camera there. We have the Persona 4 Arena Ultimax Complete Guide, kind of like with Arena. Not sure why you would need a strategy guide, because, you know, it tells you everything, but maybe like it's like, hey, this is how you defeat this one enemy in the story or something. Persona 3 and 5 official design booklet. And finally, the last one, the Persona 3 Reload art book. And some of the art books are still in the collector's box. If you saw any of the collector's editions I have from earlier and you noticed that the books weren't here, that is because they are still in the box. So yeah, that's it. Those are all of my Persona books, and that is it for this collection series. If you're watching this in the parts and you haven't checked out the other parts yet, go ahead to my channel and you can find a playlist that has all the Persona videos, and you'll see all the other parts for this. The other 5 or 6 parts, I forgot which one this is. If you're watching this on the compilation, you're crazy because I know this is going to be over 2 hours. Congrats to getting to the end. Go ahead, leave a like, leave a comment. What's your favorite thing that you saw? What surprised you the most? Oh my gosh, this guy is insane. He spent way too much money. You know, this is an accumulation of 15 years of, well, actually, about 12 years, I would say. 12 to 13 years. It was about 2012, I think. It was Persona 4 Golden is when I started. And then, yeah, since then, the last 12 to 13 years, just really consistently getting Persona stuff, collecting. And the reason I do it is just because I love this series. And I also have a slight obsession. And I have some, I guess, spending habits. But really, it's all because I love this series and I want to support Alice as much as I can. I try to buy official release stuff whenever I can. But again, thank you so much for watching all this stuff. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to see more Persona things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.